Hey, y'all, it's Friday night. Listen, welcome in the building. It is Trending Topics Friday, and we're going to get into it, okay? We got some stuff to talk about this Friday night, and tonight's show is titled, Something in the Water Ain't Clean. Something in the water ain't clean. No, it's not. Now, you know, they over there taping RHOA, and it's a whole lot of breadcrumbs on the street, so to speak, about what's going on over there right now. Some of the breadcrumbs is that they got thirsty Kim Zolciak back. She didn't sign a contract yet. There's nothing going on with her yet, but she is filming. Now listen, I'm not surprised. I won't be surprised if those breadcrumbs are true, especially because for like the 10th time, her house is no longer in foreclosure. They holding off yet again. Now, you know, and the only way I think they could perhaps have her hold off if she shows some paperwork saying, listen, I got money about to come in the door. Give me a minute. I ain't never seen nobody hold on to a home that long. She got favor over there in that Georgia court. And she obviously got favor over there with Bravo. But we're not here to talk about that tonight. We're here to talk about the fact that they are currently filming, that Kenya Moore did open her hair spa place or whatever the case may be. She showed the opening on RHOA, and they said it went down over there at that opening. Allegedly, the new girl, Kenya Moore, had poster-sized pictures on the wall, and the new girl was caught in a very compromising position. Now that's the word on the street. I'm having trouble wrapping my mind around it. But the girl was shown with her mouth on a man's private area. And of course, the girl got gangster. She said, she don't play that. She said, homie, don't play that. She said, I got a pow and I will take care of this. I don't know. They said something went down. We're going to talk about it because that's what we're here to do. We're just here to talk about the breadcrumbs that we picked up on the street. And I picked those up and I said, oh, we're going to talk about it. But something in the water ain't clean. Will Bravo risk that? They got so many lawsuits going on over there at Bravo because of Andy. They already got, what was that? The Real Housewives? I can't remember what franchise it was, but the one accusing the other one of touching her poom poom. They got enough going on over there. I can't imagine that they will allow these blow-up size posters showing the very thing that somebody, yeah, come on now, Carolyn Manzo, yeah, thank you, Emmanuel. They already got enough going on. I can't imagine them allowing a blow-up poster of this girl having her mouth on a man's private area. But that's what they said went down. We're going to talk about it. Something in the water ain't clean. I want to say the next story is American Airlines. American Airlines is being accused of racism by about 4 to 6 black men. They said they was minding their business. They did not know each other. They was all on the plane minding their business, and then the flight attendant come out and said, excuse me, sir, you off. Excuse me, you off. And everybody that had to get off, they was a black person. And they said that somebody complained about them smelling. So all the black men on the plane stank. They took them all off. The flight was delayed. They said they was going to get them another flight. Another flight wasn't going out. So, hey, they had to do the walk of shame and get back on that same flight. No, we got to talk, American Airlines. Something in the water ain't clean. It don't make sense. So now anybody can get on the plane, accuse you of something, and now you getting taken off. It's a mess. It's a mess. Then our last story, Kim Porter dad. His name is Jake Porter. Yeah, where he been? I mean, if I knew he existed, I would have said, let's page him a long time ago. So he speaks out talking about he feels sorry for Cassie. Sir, what rock have you been under? I'm not mad at you for feeling sorry for Cassie, but I'm going to need you to say you feel sorry for your daughter too. Have you not heard her baby daddy on these streets is being accused of unaliving her? Where have you been, Jake Porter? Have you not heard that when she was alive, allegedly, her baby daddy put hands on her too? Jake, wake up. I mean, he's 78, but son, in the water ain't clean. He coming out talking about, I saw the video and my heart breaks for Cassie. Your heart can break for Cassie, but does it break for your daughter that's no longer here, Kim Porter? So you saw the video. What is with everybody just being visual? Jake, somebody go over here and shake him. Wake him up. We're going to get into it. He feels sorry for Cassie. I'm like, dude, your daughter allegedly went through a whole lot too. Allegedly, he wouldn't let your daughter live her life even though he didn't want her no more. Allegedly, he's responsible for the unaliving of your daughter. Allegedly, he put hands on your daughter too. Did you not hear this story, Jake Porter, where they got into it one time and allegedly Kim did that to his wrist? And he still got the scar to this day. Somebody page Jake Porter, Kim Porter dad. And listen, can somebody resend the memo? Resend the memo that silence is golden. Go, Didi, come on. Can we talk, Didi? Jake didn't see the bruises on his daughter. His daughter never cried to him. He never saw Diddy be out of pocket, out of line. Child, somebody page Jake Porter, because something in the water ain't clean. But listen, guys, y'all spending Friday night with me, at least a part of it, and I'm happy that y'all are. I want to say thank you ahead of time, but I also want to say, buckle your seatbelt. Buckle your seatbelt. Because you know over here, come on, Didi, Jake needs to ride Sloan Bell. Jake just needs to wake up. Because if he heard about Cassie, then he had to hear all the other connected rumors about what happened or allegedly happened to his daughter. Come on, Jake. And Jake, you have 3 grandbabies. Actually, let me take that back. You got 4 that is impacted by this man. You should be reaching out to the kids. We should be seeing some Instagram photos with you hugging them or something. Who are you, Jake? I need to see. Can somebody see if they can find a picture of Jake Porter? Yeah, 4. Thank you, Major Changes. He got the twins. He got King Combs and Quincy. And everybody, when they speak, they want to say, I never seen him do anything physically, but he's evil. As many years as your daughter spent with Diddy, you ain't see nothing, Jake? All right, Jake, I guess you didn't. We'll carry on. We'll carry on. But listen, it's Friday night. It's trending topics. The title is Something in the Water Ain't Clean. Y'all ready? We're going to get this train rolling. We got to pull out the building. But like I said, buckle up because we're going to talk over here, okay? I need a what in the chat because I'm about to load this train up so we can get this party started. It's Friday night. Come on now. I want to load the train up. Hold on one second. Uh-oh. What is it? Okay, now I'm going to load this train up. Y'all ready? Thank you, Janet. I appreciate you. I need a Choo-choo! Hold aboard, everybody. It is Friday night trending topics. We about to load this train because something in the water ain't clean. We're talking Kenya Moore. They are currently filming RHOA, and I guess they really trying to give us a show this season because they said something very sinister went down at the opening of Kenya Moore Hair Spa, and we're going to talk about it, okay? We got this airport situation. Very sad. It's 2024, and we still dealing with racism. Good googly my. And then we got Kim Porter's dad. His name is Jake. I ain't even never know this man existed, okay? But Jake Porter, now he's speaking, talking about he feels sorry for Cassie. You should feel sorry for Cassie, your grandchildren, your own daughter that is no longer here. God rest her soul. But I'm going to go ahead and load this train up. Hold on one second. Hey, Leo.
Hey, Diva, Kenya Moore hair care.
Come on, Kenya Moore hair care. They said it was down up in there. Hey, in my opinion.
Hi, Diva. Hi, Leo. Choo choo.
Choo choo, Savannah.
Choo choo.
Felicia, E.
Hey.
Hey, Juanita. Hey,
Hey, choo choo.
Hey, Tay Tay. Hey, Julius. Wait, do we got some update, Felicia? What's going on in these streets?
It's breaking news.
What happened? What happened?
You tickle me so. Sean Diddy Combs has honorary Howard University degree revoked. $1 million donation returned to him after shocking abuse video.
Oh, they done took the honorary degree back.
Oh my!
At least they gave him back the $1 million too.
Howard's board of trustees unanimously voted to take back Combs' degree, which he was given by the Washington, D.C.-based historically Black university in 2014, and cut ties with the rapper, the school said. The board additionally agreed to return Combs' $1 million donation, disband the scholarship program in his name, and terminate all gift agreements with Combs and the Sean Combs Foundation. Mr. Combs' behavior, as captured in a recently released video, is so fundamentally incompatible with Howard University's core values and beliefs that he is deemed no longer worthy to hold the institution's highest honor, a spokesperson said in a statement today. Okay.
Whew, they done took back the degree. Good God. Child, when it rains, it pours, honey. They say give it back and here go your money. That's how serious we are. Here go your $1 million. Take it back. He gonna need the $1 million though, because these lawsuits, I'm sure, are draining him dry. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into this first story. I think this first story I want to deal with is the American Airlines situation. This is serious. You know what? But I'll back up for 1 second. They took this Howard University back. I wonder if they're going to take back the key to New York City. But see, Mayor, what's his name, Eric Adams, he's not going to be prepared to write no check and give no money back because he already spent it. But that's a whole nother story for another day. We're going to keep rolling, okay? All right. So let me go ahead and roll into this airplane story. Let me see. I have it right here. Let's get into it. I think this is it.
Filed lawsuit. 3 Black men are suing American Airlines. They allege company employees appeared to remove all of them from a flight over a complaint about body odor. First on CBS Mornings, the men are telling their story to our Chris Van Cleet.
We're the only ones getting taken off the plane. Look at this.
This video at the center of a newly filed lawsuit against American Airlines appears to show a number of Black men after they've been removed from a flight allegedly due to a complaint about offensive body odor.
So this is discrimination.
The lawsuit claims as Flight 832 from Phoenix to New York was finishing boarding in January, American employees removed 8 Black men from the plane. They were not traveling together, weren't seated next to each other, did not know each other, and appeared to be the only Black men on the flight, according to the suit filed early this morning.
As I got my things and walked to the front of the plane and made a left to the jet bridge, I noticed that there was 7 other Black men. And that kind of was like okay, what's happening here? So
For plaintiffs Emmanuel Jean Joseph, Alvin Jackson, and Xavier Veal, Flight 832 was a connection. They'd taken an earlier flight from Los Angeles without issue.
It was just black men. So I started freaking out. I pulled out my phone to record everything.
At any point, did somebody from American say to any of you that you had an offensive odor?
No.
The lawsuit claims over the course of about an hour, the men were kept in the jetway and then moved to the gate area where they were told they'd be rebooked on another flight to New York later that day, and alleges an American employee indicated the complaint about offensive body odor had come from a white male flight attendant. A gate agent seen in the video at one point seems to agree race was a factor in the men getting pulled off the flight.
Just because of the color of my skin. Okay. Okay.
I do not disagree with you.
But when another flight to New York couldn't be found, they were put back on the same plane.
Had to go back on the plane with everybody looking at us, you know, for me, very uncomfortable. Everybody staring at me. Me and all the other black people on the plane were just taking off.
I knew that as soon as I get on that plane, a sea of white faces were going to be looking at me and blaming me for their late flight of an hour.
Their lawyer, Sue Huta, says American declined to give her clients any answers about what happened in Phoenix.
It's almost inconceivable to come up with an explanation for that other than the color of their skin, particularly since they didn't know each other, they weren't sitting near each other. It seems fairly apparent that race was part of this dynamic.
The lawsuit cites other recent incidents where passengers have alleged being discriminated against by American and a 2017 NAACP travel advisory urging members not to fly the airline. It was lifted about 8 months later.
We were discriminated against. The entire situation was racist.
Do you think if you were anything other than a black man, this would not have happened?
If I was a white person, it probably wouldn't have happened.
I think they would have walked past like the other white passengers that were there.
CBS legal analyst Ricky Kleeman.
The plaintiffs may really have no interest in money, and they may have a sincere interest in making a public statement about racial discrimination by a major airline.
Is this kind of case a tough one to win at trial?
The question at trial really is about what are the protocols of American Airlines. And they better have some, and they better have done something with these particular employees in terms of discipline after this action.
American Airlines tells CBS News it takes all claims of discrimination very seriously and says in a statement, our teams are currently investigating the matter as the claims do not reflect our core values or our purpose of caring for people. The lawsuit seeks unspecified damages. Nate?
Chris, thank you. Looks like American Airlines has some explaining to do.
Some explaining to do. You know, all of us sympathize with the jobs that flight attendants have. It's a slippery slope when you think of the amount of power that a single flight attendant might have. I've seen things go amiss on flights, not necessarily American Airlines, but where just someone says the wrong thing at the wrong time, but it's just a comment.
Right.
And it escalates
then
to
they flex
you're
their power on you.
Exactly. And you get thrown off a plane.
Those fellas are going to own that airline by the end of this.
We'll see. This morning.
Whew, it's a lot to unpack there. Leo, you're up.
I have so many questions, right? So I want to know exactly like that lawyer said. I want to know what is the policy exactly for removing passengers off a plane? Like, what's the criteria? And how is it that three people who did not travel together, were not sitting together, and there's a complaint of BO, and they all three got to leave? I don't understand. I really do not. Something in the milk ain't clean. I do not understand what could this possibly be other than the way that they look, because I don't understand this. And I hope that these gentlemen put their foot to American Airlines' neck to be able to explain the behavior of the flight attendant. And I know they have a really hard job. I just watched a documentary on flight attendants, and they go through a lot. and it was a total of 8 of them. Oh my goodness. So I know that they go through a lot. So I want to know exactly what is the policy. Somebody needs to give me some clarification, because if not, I hope they do end up owning the airline. I hope they pay them. And you know what else I hope too? I hope that they don't take a settlement. I hope they take it to trial, because I want the information.
Yeah, I want the information too. It was a shame. And they didn't know each other. Now, I don't know if the other people have a different lawyer or maybe they're not suing at all, but these 3 are suing. But it was a total of 8 men, and as they was all out in the gateway or whatever you call that, they were like, "What's going on? Like, it's only us out here." And it's because a flight attendant complained of odor.
I don't understand. And don't we all travel? Haven't we all traveled besides some funky people? Or let's not forget the people, especially back in the days, to smoke them cigarettes. They would stink up the whole flight. Like, it's just not, to me. I don't understand how a body odor could get you all kicked off a plane. It ain't never before, not in my experience.
Right, something ain't right. Something ain't right. Yes. In my opinion, you're up.
American Airlines have always sucked. They have always had their biases. That's why I said I don't travel anything but Delta and Southwest. I have bad problems with American Airlines. When I was younger, that was all my parents used to send me on to go visit family members. And they would do it where I could fly as a kid with the flight attendant, trailing me. And I always had complaints. They always treated me differently, told me my hair couldn't be the way it was. It was all kind of complaints. My daddy finally had to show his military ID to get them to straighten up and talk to the big executives. So American Airlines have always been problematic. I will never deal with them again.
Wow. Wow. Felicia, you're up.
Well, that was an ugly situation. I don't know what happened on the aircraft. They don't know what happened on the aircraft. The gate agent said, yeah, it was because of the color of your skin.
She sure did.
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what a fair settlement is here. I mean, if you give me lifetime flying rights, I don't want to go back on your aircraft.
Right.
I don't want to have another experience. So that doesn't work for me. I guess it would have to be money. Let's look for economic justice. Yeah. I don't particularly like to fly American anymore because it's like riding a school bus with wings. I just can't get on there no more. And American is going to go the way of Applebee's for me right now. I don't do Applebee's no more, and I won't be doing American no more.
I know that's right. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Julius, you're up.
This reminded me of an incident 2 years ago when my sister cousin took her son out to celebrate his birthday. And we were discriminated against because the color of our skin. Receiving cold food and everything. And never forgot it. And it was a place that I used to frequent all the time. But it was unfortunate that my young ones, nieces and nephews, had to realize that reality. I always spoke to them about that because I did experience it, even in the education system. I said, some people are always going to look down on you for the color of your skin. But they didn't quite catch it when they was babies until that incident. And you want to know what make that matter so sad? The restaurant manager who was on duty stood in front of my cousin, in between of my cousin and her 3 babies, which caused her to lose her mind. And me and my 2 sister cousins, we were like, we got the money. We were raving our cards. We shouldn't even have to do that. Let her go out with her kids. So I got mad. I said, how dare you do that? And I'm a frequent customer. How dare you? He's like, sir, you need to watch. I said, I don't need to watch shit. Excuse my language, but that's what I said. And I said, as many times I've been coming here, I was not once treated this way. You need to be ashamed of yourself.
Mm.
So then after that, I seen that my goddaughter was getting upset, so I calmed down. But hearing this story reminded me of that. And us black folks, we are always going to be prejudged for simply existing. Existing. No matter our achieved status, we're always going to be slighted. So I do agree with the three men, even though they have a firm idea as of why. If I was them, I would sue the flight attendant, the pilot, the gate agent, and the airline as a whole. Why just the airline? Sue the individual people too. If the other kind of folks can be sue happy, and I say this to our brothers and sisters in the chat, so can we. Let's stop saying that we can't do it, because yes, we can. If we stick together.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Julius. All right, Tay, you're up.
I hope all the pensioners get every dime, every penny, quarter, you name it, for this right here. This ain't make no sense right here for me right now. Because why? Because hello, it's our skin. Because you don't like us, and that's what it is right there. Every time you go somewhere, they always look at you and judge you for your skin, your color, your skin right there. It's aggravating. It's hard to be like black. Okay, I wish everything would be easy for all of us, Diva. I really do. It made no sense right there. That's all, Diva.
I appreciate you, Tay. Thank you. Juanita, you're up.
Okay, it's like I always say, the only way to get them is to hit them in the pockets. Every time 45 run around, it's a bunch of mess. And this was just plain old racism. You're going to take the word of one person saying that. I think you say, did I hear you correctly? Eight young men
that
they ushered off of the plane because of a body odor. No, that's a bunch of crap. It's a bunch of crap. And I just think they should sue everybody they can from the top down to the bottom. Hit them in the pockets where it's going to hurt. And then we as African Americans, we need to boycott. I will never ride on American Airlines. I never have traveled on them, but even more so now. We need to form a boycott and fix them and hit it. Let them know where it hurt. Hit those pockets and they'll do better.
Yeah.
That's it.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Juanita. E, you're up.
Well, me personally, I truly love when topics such as this come up because people often say, oh, why does E always talk about color? Well, here's a prime example, folks. In my opinion, it doesn't matter what American Airlines, what their lawyers say at trial. The case is already over. Thankfully, that beautiful Black woman helping those Black men at the gate who work for the airlines already confirmed on camera that it was discriminatory on the basis of color. And the way that woman spoke, it appeared to me as if this Black woman has seen other questionable actions by some of her majority counterparts, and she was outdone. I think if somebody did a deep dive, New York Times, if you're listening, if somebody did a deep dive at American Airlines and spoke to all the minority workers, what else might we uncover? I think this case is going to be a slam dunk. You have 8 men of a minority status who were all asked to deboard due to body odor, as the smell was so offensive. The flight attendant, could not function normally. But when no other flights to New York could
Come
be
on now. Yes, come on. Talk.
located to reassign these men, somehow the smell was tolerable enough to let these 8 men back on. Why is that? In the matter of 1 hour, because they said that they were waiting around for 1 hour. The flight was delayed by 1 hour. What changed that was so drastic that the flight attendant was now able to stand and perform the duties of their job description, whereas they couldn't before? So, hell yes, there are damages due, and it should be massive.
I agree with you, E. It makes no sense. I stunk so bad that I had to get off. You was gonna put me on another plane. So, but again, does that even make sense to you? I stink. You want me off this plane, but you gonna let me get on another plane to stink up with who? But then when there was no other plane, you all of a sudden did they go take a shower in between? No, because the whole time they said it was in the area, whatever. I can't recall the name of the area. They remained in that area. So did they shower? Did you hose them down? What happened? This is sickening. Emmanuel, you're up.
Well, I didn't even have to do a deep dive. I just did a simple Google search, and it says that in 2017, the NAACP issued a travel advisory for American Airlines because there were some cases where they were showing it showed that Black Americans were being subjected to disrespectful, discriminatory, and unsafe conditions when booking or boarding with the airline. Wow. This was in 2017. And American Airlines' response to this was instituting a diversity, equity, and inclusion panel. But it looks like the NAACP is threatening to reinstate another travel ban after this incident. And I think they should. American Airlines is one of the most expensive airlines. So I want them to pay these men so much that they don't even have to work a day of their lives ever again. That's how much I want them to get paid.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate you, Emmanuel. Thank you so much. Savannah, you're up.
So what I'm taking from the story is that American is equivalent to spirit in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And so we, as flight attendants, we have to trust these and we experts, because we have to follow their guidance in this guides in order. We trust them with our lives to arrive to our destination, and we have to follow their guidance for safety protocol. And there are fines and penalties that can be incurred if you interfere or disrespect a flight attendant. But at what point do you check a B if you have to? And that's where I have an issue with this story. And we as and I don't like saying minority, because we're not a minority. We need to stop using that. We're actually the majority. When do we realize that these stories are about color? But it's all about the color green. And when do we start using that color for power? So not only do they need to sue American bigly, as they like to use and hold on to that word, but also we need to use our dollars elsewhere and stop supporting American. Because Emmanuel is right. I do recall seeing other cases against American as early as 2017, 18 of discrimination against Black and brown citizens. So this isn't the first time. I'm appalled by this story. And I really do wish that they do get everything that they deserve. But we also as a people, need to take our our hard-earned money elsewhere.
Facts. We need to stop traveling. I won't buy American airline ticket to save my life. I will not do it. All right, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and roll into the next story. I might as well go ahead and do this Kenya Moore story. Now, this is shocking to me. I'm not saying I don't believe. I'm not saying I believe. I'm saying I'm in a state of shock right now. So first I will share on Instagram. So they're saying Kenya Moore. Oh, let me back up first. Let's go to the beginning. So Kenya allegedly showed explicit photos of Brittany Edie sucking a D, which led to the pow pow threat. I have a pow pow for bees like you. That's what she said. Okay. You know, they said where there's smoke, there's fire. I know these girls need their reality check, but at the same time, I'm like, are we really going this low? And with all the lawsuits that Bravo has going on with them with SHSA, racism, alcoholism, substance abuse alleged, they would allow this to go down. This is pretty low. So shortly after Kenya made her grand entrance, she walked over to a series of posters that she set up and asked for the crowd's attention. Then Media Takeout confirmed Kenya did the unthinkable. She uncovered the posters, which showed very explicit and graphic images of her rival Brittany with a large D in her mouth. The entire crowd gasped in awe, but at Kenya's audacity and by the manner that Brittany was aggressively, with the photo, what was going down. Okay, so Kenya Moore and the Real Housewives of Atlanta newbie, Brittany got into a heated altercation. Threats allegedly involved a pow pow in more. If you show something like that, I'm sure something went down. But I thought there's a such thing as revenge P. And when someone sends you explicit pictures, because someone probably had to send Kenya those pictures, and you share them, you can get in trouble for that. That's why I'm like, did Kenya go this low? I don't know. So Kenya Moore allegedly threatened with a pow pow violence at RHOA by RHOA newbie Brittany. So the Real Housewives of Atlanta filming is underway for season 16, and RHOA newbie Brittany is said to have come in hot, allegedly getting in such a major confrontation with longstanding cast member Kenya Moore that she threatened pow pow violence against the Bravo veteran. She said, "I have pow pows for bees like you," Brittany is alleged to have said. Celebrity photographer Eric Robinson was reportedly at the RHOA event, marking the opening of Kenya's new hair spa. He took the S, formerly known as Twitter, to inform his followers about his surprise. "I'm still trying to recover," he wrote in a response to RHOA castmate Drew Sidora. "I couldn't even take a photo. My mouth fell to the floor, and I'm just in awe. Like that was the most deadliest scene probably ever filmed on a franchise. The post has been deleted." Did Brittany Edie threaten Kenya Moore during the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16 filming? And I guess, is that her? Is that Brittany? Okay, I don't know what's going on there. I'm guessing that's Brittany. I don't hear any sound, maybe because I got to go to Instagram. I'll go to her Instagram later. I'll go to it later. Okay, yeah, that's her. I'll go to her Instagram later. Neither Kenya or Brittany has reacted to reports so far, so it's hard to say whether or not that really went down. With cameras rolling at the event, Bravo are likely hoping to keep the truth of the evening under wraps, as the drama could be a huge focal point of RHOA's new season. However, if this really happened, should Brittany hold a job at all? Threats of pow pow violence are never acceptable. She might be one of the 4 full-time newbies, but Brittany could be out of a job just as quickly as she got one. Remember, this is all alleged as of right now. It has to be taken with a mountain of salt. I think where there's smoke, there's fire, and they're talking about, should Brittany be staying? Should Kenya Moore be staying? Because to show some photos like that allegedly is really beyond messy. Leo, your thoughts?
Wow. And I'm going to preface this with, I don't know these people, right? This is just a conversation we having, correct, Diva? I don't know these people. Okay. I don't know if it happened, if it didn't happen, but I can say I like to look at things from past behavior. And Kenya is petty, right?
Yes, she is.
Kenya do like the props, like the things. She likes the things to create the drama. Because remember when during the reunion, when she got drugged by Portia, she had that scepter in her hand. She had these props in her hands that irritated Portia so much to Portia tried to drag her from her by her wig. So I can't say for certain that it happened because I don't know. It is all alleged. But based on past behavior, Miss Kenya Moore hair care can be very messy boobs. I thought that she would have been smarter than this. If this is true, I hope the young lady does file charges against her for revenge P. And another thing too about these housewife shows, right? I am actually getting sick of them. I can't enjoy a good kiki because y'all around here acting stupid all the time. Whatever happened in one season, you trying to up it with the next season, and you being messy and all this extra drama. If this did happen, boy, Kenya, girl, you too old and you doing way too much. It's just too much. And at your own event too, because that's how come I'm kind of thinking like, how you gonna do this at your own event? You're supposed to be a straight-laced, leveled businesswoman. And how is this good business? Something in the milk ain't clean. I don't understand. But like I said, you can't put nothing past her because she do like her props, so she might be doing it. I don't know because I don't know the lady, so I don't know her like that. I ain't never been to the spa, so I don't know. But I will be keeping my eyes open to see what's gonna happen next.
So Kenya Moore shock party attendees with posters of RHOA newcomer Brittany allegedly performing oral. You know what? Things are heating up in Atlanta. Page 6 can confirm that the Real Housewives of Atlanta star Kenya Moore shock party attendees at her Kenya Moore hair spa Thursday night with posters of serious newcomer Brittany allegedly performing oral. We're told Bravo cameras were rolling at the cast event where Moore 53 decided to unveil the explicit images. The recipient of the alleged SS remains unclear. So they don't know who she was allegedly doing it to. I think that is beyond messy. We're told Brittany was not present for the display, and that contrary to reports, she did not subsequently threaten Moore with a pow pow. At no time was Kenya ever threatened with a pow pow, nor was there ever a pow pow present during the course of production. A source close to production exclusively tells Page 6. However, they trying to clean up the story because it's in the streets. However, another insider claims that prior to the event, Brittany made threats to Moore using the word pow pow, which made cast members feel uncomfortable. The insider also claims that the explicit photos in questions are readily accessible online. Oh, this is messy. We're told an investigation has been launched. Though we're told the poster incident was filmed, it's unclear whether it will air. However, those who were in attendance were horrified. I'm flabbergasted and floored, RHOA star Drew Sidora tweeted after the fact. Eric Robinson, a photographer who was on the scene, added in a since deleted tweet, I'm still trying to recover myself. I couldn't even take a photo. My mouth fell to the floor, and I am just in awe. Like that was the most deadliest scene probably ever filmed on the franchise. Cynthia Belly, who's returning to RHOA for season 16 as an official friend of, was also at the party. She recently told Page 6 that the ladies were in their third week of filming. Reps for More, Brittany, and the network did not immediately respond to Page 6 request for a comment. The Neighborhood Talk was the first to report the news. This is messy. Even if they are readily available online, you shouldn't be spreading them. In my opinion, you're up. I think, and before you go on my opinion, I think this can get Kenya Moore in a lot of trouble. But this is shocking to me. In my opinion, you're up.
So I'm of two minds here. Again, we all know Kenya Moore is petty, okay? But Kenya Moore has never hit this low. And all the years that we've known Kenya, I mean, she can get with the girls, okay? From scepters to bringing a band to somebody else's show. I just don't think somebody would crash their own party. I would hope this lady is not crashing her own business by having this out there. And I don't think Bravo would have filmed it with all this going on. I just feel like there's something else that's missing from this story. And the reason why the conflicting arguments is because nobody is telling the whole story. So I just don't know how to respond to this. I hope Kenya has not done that. But I'm just saying, I feel like it's more to this story. I'm not ready to just throw Kenya away. Like I said, Kenya has been petty in the past, but never this low. Like, this is sickening low for a woman to put another woman out like this.
Yeah, I hear you in my opinion, but I'm going to go down in history and say that I just can't imagine all this smoke on this level. And then they wanted to add the fact that these pictures are readily available online. Something's amiss. Felicia, you're up.
I don't watch these shows, so I will pass. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Julius, you're up.
Even though I don't watch, I read that she did have an incident years ago with a gun. Pow. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
A pow. I believe it was about 10 plus years ago. I don't know for sure, but I remember it was her. But yeah. So I don't know about this certain incident, but I do know she has a history.
Thank you. Tay, you're up. Please watch your words.
I'm with Felicia on this right here, Diva. I'll pass too.
Okay, Juanita, you're up.
This has taken reality TV has just gone to an all-time low. They just need to cut it all out. I mean, if this is true, and allegedly, if Kenya did do this to this lady, it's just ridiculous. And then for her to voice out about the pow, you could use your words without going there towards violence. So I'm just out now with the housewives in general, because all of them are resorting to the same thing. They're getting trashy, they're getting low down, they're getting dirty and filthy, and it's just not necessary. So Bravo need to do something, and that's all I have to say.
Yeah. Oh, good gosh. E, you're up.
When I first saw these two new girls, the ones so thirsty they keep posting everything, I immediately wondered who signed off and approved that. They look totally off-brand, like they were rejected from Love and Hip Hop or Love After Lockup. These two are something else. And what I know about Kenya is that she is an absolute sweetheart, and I've had the pleasure of meeting her twice. We've been watching Kenya since season 5, and we know that she is innovative, she is idea-oriented, quick thinking, lively, and competitive and bold. Kenya is the one and not the two. Be clear. Whenever we have seen Kenya play the villain on this show, it's always in response to something someone else has done to her, i.e., Portia and all of her name calling towards Kenya, and Phaedra and all of her slanderous lies, and Nene, her shady insults, and then Tanya poking the bear with that wig. My point is, if this is true, which where there's smoke, there's fire. I agree with you, Diva, and it's coming from a credible source. I do consider Page 6 to be credible. If this is true, if Kenya really did unveil those provocative photos, I want to know, what did Britney do to Kenya first? Because like Leo said, Kenya can be very petty. And I'm not saying that it's right, but you know, there's a famous quote by Funky Dineva, don't piss me off and then tell me how mad to get. You know, Britney came onto this platform along with that Kelly girl. And in my opinion, both of them have been fanning the hell out ever since the ink dried on the paperwork. Both of them even have that RHOA hashtag in their Insta bios. The season hasn't even came out yet. And you already... The final cast photo has not even been released. We don't even know if you're going to be a full-time housewife or a friend of, because these things change all the time. And anybody in the entertainment world knows you never speak on an acting job or any type of project until it's about to air. Britney and Kelly are doing too much talking and too much antagonizing people online. I saw a video of Britney 2 weeks ago when filming first started, and Britney was getting her sewing done, and she had the nerve to challenge the other ladies on the cast to show their edges this season. Girl, you just got here 30 seconds ago and you're already being messy, and you're doing it on the internet towards a platform you don't even hold any rank yet. So if Kenya printed some photos of Britney, I'm inclined to believe Britney was in way over her head. And as always, when people come for Kenya, they always leave mad. Britney should find something better to do. And if you want to come for somebody, go for somebody like Drew or go for Portia. If the rumors are true, hold on. I like you, E, but Kenya have thrown some. I haven't seen it. You know, if the rumors are true, Britney is really balanced. So that would make more sense to go for Portia anyway. But when it comes to Kenya Moore and Shamia Morton, those two women right there are not for beginners. And whatever those two women do to other people, I know the other people deserve it, because these two don't bother anybody. And last thing, 10 more seconds, Diva. As for this revenge P nonsense, this is not revenge P. Even if the photos were posted, I'm sure Kenya did not personally hang them up one by one with her own two hands. But let's just say she did for kicks and giggles. At most, this would be reduced to harassment with the intent to cause substantial emotional harm to the person depicted. She'll pay a fine and move on. But the bigger thing for me, lesson one, Brittany Edie, before you announce you're going on a reality TV show, make sure your explicit photos are not floating around on the internet, especially when you want to rumble with the B.
I hear you, E, but I'm gonna go down, and this is just my opinion, y'all. I'm gonna go down and say on record for this. Reality TV is about slinging mud, but at some point you got to decide, well, how low am I really gonna go? And whether pictures are floating on the internet about somebody or not, there's no way on the face of this earth where I, at my event, put up some posters like this. I can't see several individuals. Drew tweeted and saying she couldn't believe what happened. This photographer tweeted and deleted it, probably because they asked them to. I just don't see that they decided to make up a story, and the made up story is this low. It just doesn't make sense to me. And then to come back and circle around and say that the pictures are on the internet. So if the pictures were never shown, I don't get them saying a piece of, well, anyway, these pictures are readily available on the internet. So some way, shape, or form, that tells me, and listen, I ain't go to Harvard or Yale, but that tells me that somehow, some way, those pictures were shown. I think it's gutter low, and I don't care if they are available on the internet. There's sometimes, especially to me, and this is just me, guys. So I turned 54 this year. To me, at a certain age bracket, I really charge myself not to go a certain low. Like, I mean, come on now. I just think that is just way low. Now, if she was plucking at me, would I have told her maybe on the side, yo, girl, chill, because this is what's out there about you? Perhaps, maybe.
But can you did tell her?
Hold on 1 second, E. But Diva, do you remember when you said that Candace was fighting with Mia in Miami and several blogs were running with the story, and come to find out that Candace wasn't even there just because it's... When did I say that Candace was fighting it with Mia in Miami? You have to remind me of that and circle me back to that video. Because usually the only time I talk about something is when it already happened on the show, when it those on reality shows. So you would have to circle me back to that video. But either way, I'm putting my foot down, 10 toes down. I don't see this photographer who said he was there saying he showed it. And I don't see Page Six coming out saying that these things were readily available on the internet. It's something going on there. It's something amiss.
But she said,
go ahead.
She said at the Megan Thee Stallion concert with Phaedra and whoever else that was, Sheree, that the girls have been coming for her in these past 3 weeks. I'm not saying that it's right, but I'm saying, like you said, it's mudslinging. And when you're coming for the heavyweight, you have to be prepared.
Prepare for something that low. I got my lips on.
We don't know what she did to Kenya first.
All right, I got you, E. Roll with that. Many out there agreeing with you, but I'm just saying that the Diva do not. I think that's gutter low. And I understand these people, you need your check, but good gosh almighty. Emmanuel, you're up.
I've been telling people that Kenya's not a good person for years. From the moment she stepped onto the show, she was problematic. Flirting with married men, fake boyfriends, throwing insults, telling people they have AIDS. I've never liked her. This is a person who's always pushing the line. She pulled out a bullhorn, like Leo said, and a scepter and waved it at somebody's face. She pulled Kim Field's chair while she was sitting. She threw a glass of champagne at Ramona Singer. She's brought exes and mistresses. The point is she goes slow, but this is an all-time low, like Diva said. She might be nice to some people in person, but in the show, she's vicious towards others. And I find it funny that when these ladies joined, I saw a lot of comments on social media also that said, oh, these girls look ghetto. They look like they belong on Love and Hip Hop. But this little stunt that Kenya pulled hasn't even been done on Baddies or Love and Hip Hop. So I just can't believe such a thing. Like, it's crazy. It is a crime. She is a Revenge P distributor. There's nothing that would justify her doing this. She unveiled these posters in front of everyone, you guys. In front of everyone at the salon. It's beyond disgusting. And I know that red states like Georgia are very strict when it comes to these types of crimes. And, I find it hilarious that for years, Kenya dragged Marlo over the crimes Marlo did when she was a minor. The gag is, now she's the one who just committed a crime on camera. And she tried to come for Phaedra and all of this. I can't believe she did this. I mean, as a woman, and not just a woman, the mother of a daughter.
Come
What
on
is
now.
wrong with her?
Come on now, Emmanuel.
What is wrong?
Come on now.
Showing explicit pictures of someone in an act, that's not just messy. That's not just, oh, you come. No, that's diabolical. So, in the words of Nene, she's declassing the show. She needs to be fired from this season immediately. She should not continue filming. And I hope Britney sues her and takes that salon away from her, because there's a whole other level of evilness. I don't care what Britney did first. This is something that has no excuse to do, to gather everyone around and then pull the curtain and show it to everyone. And the funny thing is, they already didn't show her opening last season. Now they're probably not going to show it again. So she's And I quickly searched up the state of Georgia's law when it comes to this. And It says that Georgia Code 161190 prohibits the distribution of N or S explicit electronic transmissions without the consent of the depicted person. This is considered a crime known as S extortion and is considered revenge P if the content is posted with the intent of harassing or harming the victim. This law also applies to falsely created images or videos. So there you have it. Fire her. Bravo has fired others for much less.
You
And lock her up.
misinterpreted that, but we can move forward.
No, I just read it. It says.
I know what it says. You misinterpreted it. So, but let's move forward.
Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see.
We'll move. You know what? I for speaking purposes, I'll toss out that maybe that was misinterpreted, whatever. I'll toss that in the garbage. I think you have some very good points. She has a daughter.
Yeah.
And this is not about going low here. Let me say this. There was, when she was dating that one guy, the young guy, and he got mad at her and they was fighting and he broke the cameras at her garage, whatever. You know, it was said that she had relations with him in the car, in the back of the van or something like that. So what if someone caught footage of that and showed still images of that? I think it's low. But Savannah, you're up.
I hate going after Emmanuel because I'm gonna repeat almost everything he said, because I as well had pulled up the Georgia statute of Revenge P. I really don't care what this new housewife had did. This is beyond low for one housewife to do to another. And you know, reality TV shows already portray Black women in a negative, stereotypical way. You know, they always portray them as loud, angry, aggressive, trashy, and ghetto. And in just one horrible bad action, she portrayed it all. And then in the opening of her business, as a business owner, why would you sabotage your own self like that? I just don't understand. I thought Kenya was smarter than this. I am highly disappointed in her. And I was actually starting to turn around because I was not a Kenya fan, but I was impressed with her over the last 2 seasons. And I don't watch RHOA faithfully. I jump in and out of the season because it's gotten extremely boring. But things like this is why a lot of viewers are shying away from reality TV, because where does the line? Where's the low? Where's the bottom line? I mean, this is just, it's beyond embarrassing for one woman to do this to another woman. I don't care if the pictures were already out there. No one knew who this lady was. She was coming on a show. And as a veteran, nobody should, as a veteran, Kenya knew no one should have shook her off her pedestal. So it doesn't matter what the newbie did to her. I am shocked at this story when I seen it today. And I agree, Kenya should be fired immediately and kicked off the show if this really happened. And Brittany should sue her for Revenge P, because she has a case, according to Georgia statute, she has a case against her for that, and own the salon.
You know, I gotta say this before we move forward. It's interesting to me how, you know, allegedly Diddy filmed all of these people unbeknownst to them, right? And there's a lot of individuals that will be filming you doing something and you don't know. We just had a case where I don't know if the girl telling the truth or not, but the woman in the school said she did set videos in the school for her boyfriend, and the boyfriend is the one that pushed the images out there.
The boyfriend is being charged right now, Diva.
I appreciate that, in my opinion. What is interesting to me, though, when it's someone that we I guess we identify with, care about, is we're like, oh, that's horrific. A video was made, a video was being passed around, because allegedly this was Diddy's MO. He filmed you doing whatever with all these different people. Now these images are going around everywhere. of you in compromising positions, doing things with people that can never be erased. There's some people that won't be able to survive stuff like that. But here it is, this young lady. I don't know this Brittany from a can of paint. It's not like, oh, I'm trying to take her for Brittany. Don't know her, never followed her, never knew about her until they said she was coming on this season for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But I am of the mindset, that unfortunately people sneak and they record you. And it's funny, E, because you don't want these phones in the school, because you're like, people end up on videos that get out there and they last out there forever. But you're okay if a said picture, and none of us know right now, we're talking about what is being said. You're okay with a said picture being on a poster and it being shown with this lady in I'm gonna put it like a compromising situation. Like, that's okay. It's like, oh, it's what was done to the other person first. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me, and I can't connect the dots with that one. How
she's an adult model.
This person is wrong with this person, but over here it's okay because what was done to you first. It doesn't make
she's an adult model. So my thing is, that's different. If you're being recorded and you don't know, if you're participating and you know that you're being filmed and you have your photos of you in your birthday suit on the internet, because those are the pictures you take, that's different. That's something totally different than talking about the kids
photos
being
of you in
recorded
your
as
birthday suit versus photos of you sucking on somebody's private parts.
Well, if you're inclined
May
to
I
take
say
photos,
something here before we move on? Because I don't know anything about these people. But this was an opening of a business. You don't know if children were there. You don't
Thank
know
you,
who
Miss
was
Felicia.
present.
Thank you.
This is wrong. How can you try to make right of what is wrong here?
So now we're going to assume that kids were there?
It was an opening of a business. I don't know who was there, but I know if I was there, I didn't need to see that. I'm not supporting whatever this woman may or may not do for her career. If I came in here to support you for your hair salon and you're unveiling adult move shots or pictures, I'm going to be offended.
Well, they know, and these were her friends. These are not strangers from off the street, and she wasn't
Well,
selling
let's
tickets.
see. You'll find out. If it's true, you'll find out.
Very well.
And cameras were filming.
We'll move on. We'll move on. But I just think that, even I have fell out with people that I was really good friends with, and I still would never go this low. This, I got a limit to my love. But anyway, we'll move on and we'll see if, now I'll tell you this, if they, like you said, Emmanuel, which kind of hit me and nudged me on the side, if they don't show this opening, if they have to scrap the whole scene or do a disclaimer before, something's going to be amiss. And I will also say this too, that I have a feeling if that did happen and now that it's already leaked out in the streets, they're probably going to scrap it because they already are in so much trouble with this SHSA, drinking, alcohol, all of this kind of stuff.
Right, and if I could just say, Diva, you're right, because the Ultimate Girls Trip with Caroline Manzo and Brandy, what happened wasn't even filmed, what the actual act, and look at all the mess that has been going on with that. This was actually filmed, allegedly, her unveiling the pictures, and recently they also had another lawsuit for the exact same thing on Vanderpump Rules. So I don't think they want nothing to do with this. So they're probably going to scrap it all.
Yeah, and you mess up your big chance like this because you went around doing podcasts saying that, they didn't show it and you wanted them to show the positive things in your life, and allegedly something like this happened. We're going to move forward. It's deplorable to me, but that's me, right? So let me move forward into this last story. So this last story, I didn't even realize this. I mean, not that I didn't know, right? You got to have a father, but I have never heard about Kim Porter's father. So it was shocking to me to learn that he spoke out, talking about how he feels sorry for Cassie, right? And I'm thinking, bro, don't you feel sorry for your daughter? So Kim Porter's dad breaks silence after Sean Combs' attack video. He said it's despicable. I was disgusted with the video, and I wouldn't treat my enemy like that, says Jake Porter. Kim Porter's father is stepping forward to say he felt sickened when he saw Sean Diddy Combs shove, kick, stomp, and drag former partner Cassandra Cassie Ventura in a brutal beating captured on recently unearthed hotel surveillance video. Speaking by phone on Friday, Jake Porter says the shocking video obtained by CNN left him with a nagging concern over what his daughter may have experienced during her time with the music mogul before she died of lumbar pneumonia in 2018. You can say I'm disgusted with the video, and I wouldn't treat my enemy like that, Porter 78 tells Rolling Stone. It was despicable, he adds. I couldn't believe it. I was in Vietnam, and I wouldn't do that to my enemy. Asked if he ever witnessed Combs physically abuse his own daughter in a similar way, Porter says no. He never saw anything to that extent. You see the wording? To that extent. But anyway, but it made me wonder. He recalls living with or near his daughter during different periods of her relationship with Combs, dating back to the 90s, and says the horrible video gives him a different outlook on Combs. I didn't know he could stoop that low, Porter says. I imagine it surprised a lot of people. I wouldn't even do a dog like that. My heart goes out to Cassie. Porter declined to answer many questions, but says his daughter Kim, who gave birth to a son with Combs in 1998 and twin daughters in 2006, generally loved the bad boy impersonator. Still, she just couldn't live with Combs in the same house, he says. The dad is saying a lot too if you read in between the lines, but I'll carry on. I think he was a very jealous person. He didn't know anything, but he's dropping little nuggets every now and then. Porter says they both loved each other. Ken's love was legitimate. Puffy love, I don't know what he calls love. You know what I mean? I really don't think he has any idea what love is. Moving forward, Porter says, my concern is the children. As part of Rolling Stone's recently published 6-month investigation into Combs, which was based on interviews with more than 50 people across the hip-hop mogul's life, sources claim that Combs was volatile, physically aggressive, and deeply controlling in his relationships. The investigators started shortly after Ventura filed a stunning lawsuit against Combs last November, alleging XTSANR. Combs privately settled with Ventura within 24 hours, but 6 more lawsuits followed from other plaintiffs alleging SARR. Combs took responsibility for the hotel surveillance video, but limited his apology to that one incident. It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life, but sometimes you got to do that, Combs said on social media. I was effed up. I mean, I hit rock bottom. And I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it, and I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. Had to go into therapy, go into rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to being a better man each and every day. I'm asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry. Asked for a comment on the pending litigation and new allegations in the Rolling Stone investigation, Combs' lawyers sidestepped a long list of individual questions. Mr. Combs cannot comment on settled litigation, will not comment on pending litigation, and cannot address every allegation picked up by the press from any source, no matter how unreliable. His lawyer, Jonathan Davis, said last week, we are aware that the proper authorities are conducting a thorough investigation and therefore have confidence any important issues will be addressed in the proper forum, where the rules distinguish facts from fiction. Kim and Combs met while they were both working at Uptown Records. Combs was the brash young A&R executive, and Kim was CEO Andre Harrell's receptionist. They didn't start dating until 1994. Their relationship was tumultuous, according to 2 sources who tell Rolling Stones that Combs physically aided Kim. I remember Kim used to go through a lot of stuff, former bad boy rapper Mark Curry said. If you live around him, You get to see the toxic relationship. I think every relationship he had that I experienced around him was like that. Kim herself said that Combs was very, very intrusive. In a 2007 interview with Essence, she reflected on Combs' flashy relationship with Jennifer Lopez, saying that despite the tabloid coverage of the couple, Combs was still calling her 50 to 60 times a day. It was like my life was not my own, she added. Kim tried to move on, striking up a romance with the late music executive Shakir Stewart, but Combs caught wind of the relationship and was enraged. When the industry gathered for L.A. Reid's wedding in Italy in the summer of 2000, Combs went to Stewart's room after the ceremony and allegedly broke a chair over his head. Stewart's mother and two of his close friends tell Rolling Stones he left him bleeding on the hotel floor in Italy. Stewart's mother, Porter, I don't want to mess up her name, says he had to have stitches, and then Combs threatened him. He said, "I'm going to unalive you." That's when I said, "You need to get out of this business. This man is crazy." Kim eventually reunited with Combs, but then she called off their romantic relationship for good in 2007 upon learning Combs had fathered a secret child while she was pregnant with their twin daughters. Leo, you're up.
Okay, so the question is about this father. So I say this, from everything that I hear that he's saying, they did not have a close relationship. Not even close enough for him to give his opinion, because it sounds like he's dropping here or there that he knew of problems that exist, but he was not a place where Kim Porter could go to when she was having these problems. He may have seen some things, maybe some bruises here or there, a tooth missing, some black eyes, a broken nose, those kind of things he may have known about or maybe seen in the media, but I've never heard of this man. I not even when I look through like past interviews that she has given, he was not in the home. I don't know when he left, but from what I can gather, he left early. And so he wasn't he wasn't a protector or active part of her life. So he need to drink a tall glass of shut the F up. And why are they hunting him down? Because he is of no value added type of commentary. Sir, I don't want to hear from you again at all, ever.
I appreciate you. Yes, everybody hit that like button. This is a very young picture of Kim Porter, her dad. Dad was a nice looking man, and she resembles Dad. In my opinion, you up, and thanks for sending me the photo.
I sent you an email with a couple of more photos.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I agree with everything Leo is saying. I think he doesn't know all of it. I think he knows some of it though too. I really do. Because him and Diddy was mighty cozy at her funeral. So I think he does know. I think they were all compensated. And that compensation kept their mouth shut until all this stuff popped up. So here's the thing. Mama and dad always know. You always know. You know your kids, okay? You know when they hurting. You know when they sad. All that. But you'll turn a blind. Some of these parents will. We all know some parents. Some of these parents will turn a blind eye if they getting their pockets lined. We saw it with R. Kelly. You know, them kids was being sold. Them parents was okay as long as them pockets was getting lined. So, yeah, the perks and the connections was what he looked for. And now that it's all over, yeah, this is what he wants to speak out now. I don't know if he had a non-disclosure that ended as well after 10 years. I don't know if that what it was, but yeah, he's speaking out, and he's saying it in a way, well, even if he did sign something,
You can't say I told your business because I'm just hitting around that I saw this video. I'm responding to this video. I didn't necessarily say you did it to my daughter. You see what I'm saying? So I think he's covering himself, but he was definitely getting his pockets lined because they was mighty close.
Felicia, you're up.
Oh, my heart is breaking. Leo. Yeah, they weren't that close. They weren't close at all. Gosh. Knowing some of what she had experienced for so long. And it's like you said, Diva, he said, I felt bad for Cassie. So he never felt a certain kind of way about his own daughter. And yeah, maybe she went to him once and he didn't seem very receptive, didn't have any solutions, didn't maybe perhaps intervene. She goes a second time and he gives her the look like, it really ain't my business. But right now, his grandchildren need him. They need someone to step in and protect them. And he's still not doing it. I gather he was compensated by Rolling Stone. So he said a little something. Yeah. Shame on you, Mr. Porter. Shame on you.
Come on now. Julius, you're up.
It's the not that extent remark for me. So you had a gut feeling that your daughter was going through DV, but you didn't care to intervene? Even Dan Connor from the original syndicated program Roseanne intervened when Darlene told him about Jackie having marks on her back. Dan went over to her apartment and took care of business when it came to her whatever man. And Jackie was heated at first, but she understood why Dan did what he did because that's his family. And you don't lay a hand on family. But see, that kind of character is rare in both men and women. Because they go by the saying, it's not happening to me, it's not my business. But if you visibly see it, you need to say something.
Thank you, Julius. Tay, you're up.
I said, shame on that dad right there. You really want to supposed to protect your daughter from a man like you, and you ain't did nothing. All you have that hush hush money in your pocket. That's probably why right there. A real father knows what's going on with his daughter.
Come on, Tay.
A real father is to be there for her. A real father be love and protect their daughter for any man like that right there. And you was there right there. Even though Kim and you didn't have no close relationship, it's like a far distant relationship from what I'm thinking right now. Your grandchildren need you because they had the part of Kim in them. They're only connected to your daughter, and you still ain't do nothing till this day. Wish you was still alive. Shame on you. Shame on you. That's all, Diva.
Appreciate you, Tay. Juanita, you're up.
Okay, a lot of these parents are just as starstruck as the children. And what I think, he probably got some hush money. He probably, because parents know what's going on, but he was so amused at her being with a superstar to, they turn a blind eye. So Diddy probably gave him, allegedly, some money to shut up, and now the money's probably running out and he want to talk. He probably feel bad about what happened and everything, with everything that's coming out about more and more about Cassie. He could see his daughter in this situation, and his conscience is bothering him. So and as far as him having a relationship with his granddaughters, if he didn't have a good relationship with his daughter, then he don't know how to be a grandfather if he didn't know how to be a father. So I just think he needs to just take a seat, sit down, and shut up.
Yeah. Thank you, Juanita. Erupt.
Well, where are good fathers when you need them? With fathers like Jake, it's no wonder Kim stayed in this situationship with Sean as long as she did.
Yeah.
The inference I made from the article when he said the times I lived with Kim or near Kim indicated to me that this father was financially unstable.
Come on now.
Due to him having to move around so frequently. I can tell you, my grandmother has lived in 2 houses my whole life. Her first house, and when I was in 3rd grade, she bought a bigger house, and she's been there ever since. Decades. It's a place of stability. My other grandmother, the same thing, and my father. My mother as well. That when you have children, your children should always have a place to call home. And I understand people fall on hard times, but when he says that he lived with Kim, the inference I made is that he was benefiting from the gifts or lifestyle his daughter secured, utilizing at least a fraction of the resources from Sean Combs and Bad Boy Entertainment. He didn't say anything to Kim about leaving because it was good for him not to. And when he says, I never saw anything to this extent.
Come on now.
Well, even if you did not see anything to that extent, I'm certain you saw the aftermath. If you were in communication or you were able to lay visual on your daughter, when one has a broken nose and they undergo a rhinoplasty, that's something hard to miss. One would notice a rhinoplasty, let's be real clear. And as much scuttlebutt that was going around the industry about what he was doing to Kim, because the internet wasn't even around. And I remember hearing rumblings all the way down here because his restaurant, Justin's, was down here. I remember people talking about them getting into a fight, and it wasn't on the internet. And so if this is your child, if I can hear it, just little old me, insignificant E, if I can hear all this down here, you didn't catch a whiff?
Come on.
But even what was more troubling to me, even in present day, Jake is still classifying that situationship as love. And I think that's very problematic. In that article, he says Kim's love was legitimate.
Come on.
When that was on the screen, I was taken aback by that. Some words just hit me in a real upsetting way. And we need to examine and think about what that word means. When he says Kim's love was legitimate means conforming to the rules or laws. And so I need to know, for my own clarity, what were the rules and laws that Kim was adhering to when you say that her love was legitimate? By staying with him because he had the money and the resources, even though he was cheating and there was evidence and he was abusive to her and tolerating his jealousy? Why was her love legitimate? I need to understand that, because she didn't put him in jail and didn't call the police. Jake said a lot, even though he didn't say much at all.
Come on now.
Especially when you pulled up the pictures at the Porter family reunion, and Jake is standing there with his twin granddaughters, and in the middle is the bonus granddaughter from another woman, whose mom was pregnant at the same time as Kim.
Come on, talk. Come on. Come on, talk.
I want us to be for real here. This man was complicit with Kim's treatment by Sean, because in the article, he acknowledged he knew Sean was jealous. And he also said Kim and Sean could not live together.
Come on.
Why is that? Why couldn't they live together? So I'll close it here. He ended by saying his only concern now is for the children. But in all the pictures you pulled up, Diva, the only pictures we see of him are with the girls. Why is that? None with Quincy and none with Christian, from what I saw. Where are good fathers when you need them? And when he says, his concern is for these children, I wouldn't even feel comfortable with him being around those girls because you failed your daughter. And the fact that you would come out now and play these I'll be sure games by going to the tabloids instead of doing something impactful that your daughters can look up to and say, you know what, grandpa is a safe haven for me. I can feel secure in his presence, or reaching out to these boys. And I just don't see what good this was going to do. It's like you said, Diva, he wanted a check and he wanted his name out there and he got his $1,500 and we can move forward.
Boom, that's that. You didn't know, but you did know. Come on, Jake. Do you think we stupid, Jake? I read all in between that. Go ahead, Leo. You want to say something?
And also too, y'all, let's keep in mind he was a Diddy too, right? Don't you read that as well? He was a Diddy too. Not to the extent of the ST, but to the extent of way he may have treated Kim's mother, right? So he may have got his pockets lined, but the guilt is that she learned that first behavior from him, how he treated his mother, her mother.
I agree with you 10,000%, Leo, because that's what that word comes in. Legitimate. Her love was legitimate. She was behaving the way that he taught her.
That's right.
Watching.
That's right. And he felt like Kim's mother love for him was legitimate, but he was toxic.
Girl,
so how he gonna come in on this man? And how he gonna come in on this man for being toxic with his daughter when he is toxic himself?
Boom. Leo, girl, you better hush.
I appreciate y'all. Emmanuel, you're up.
I agree with what everybody else said. I really don't want to hear nothing from him because he didn't love or protect his daughter like he was supposed to, and that's probably what attracted her to Diddy in the first place. So it's a day late, dollar short. It means nothing. His words mean nothing. He was complicit. I agree with everyone.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Savannah, you're up.
Now on this story, I completely agree with E. It's unfortunate that when we experience tragic stories in social media, everybody wants to come out and have their 15 minutes of fame and hear her father, who should have been her protector, her guardian, and her example of a man in her life now wants to come out. No one's interested in what he has to say. So I agree completely with E and Leo.
I appreciate you. You know, this whole thing is not over. We got a lot to still unpack with this Diddy thing. He seems to be dominated 2024 because we're in June. We're in June and you're still hearing Diddy situations. I'm proud of the college taking, rescinding back his honorary degree and returning the money. Got a little bit of integrity there, but they did that. But they're trying to save face, in my opinion, because wasn't it Howard? That was Howard that gave him the honorary degree and then took it back.
Yep.
Yeah,
Howard University.
But Rolling Stone, it's interesting their timing of it all, right? Because Rolling Stone talked about how the young lady got beat down in front of the people down there at Howard.
That part, Diva, that part. What they need to do is took the money and put it with some DV prevention programs down there in Howard, because everybody watched her get her tail beat and ain't nobody do a thing. They still getting their tail beat. So keep the million and put it towards some DV prevention.
That part. See, everybody trying to play in our face and don't think we're reading between the lines, because you could have did this when you could have rescinded it back when you saw the Cassie video. You could have rescinded it when you heard about all these lawsuits coming back to back to back to back. You could have rescinded it when he paid her back in November. But you waited to now. You waited till Rolling Stones came out with their in-depth piece and said they did a whole 6 month or however long investigation, and they named y'all in there talking about the young lady way back when. So if y'all would have perhaps stopped that monster back then, maybe we wouldn't be knowing all of this stuff right now. They quoted in that article in the Rolling Stones, I'm coming to you, Felicia, how he was throwing the iconic parties back then.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Felicia.
Thank you, Diva. You know, I love this this channel. I love this panel because they force you to think. And I think it was just a week ago,
Mm-hmm.
That Mrs. Wallace said she wanted to smack the daylights out of Mr. Combs. And yet people called her out, said, you know, your son was a this, and that, but she didn't walk it back. She said, no, she wanted to smack the daylights out of him. And here we have Mr. Porter. He's saying he don't know to what extent, you know, he might have seen something here or there. When these fathers fail, they fail with a major capital F.
Ooh.
Even in her death, you will not stand up for her.
Come on.
Even now, Mrs. Wallace said, yeah, okay, well, maybe my son did ABC, but I want to smack the daylights out of him. And I said he should volunteer his face so she could do it.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have Daddy coming out with, I don't know, but I felt real bad for Cassie. God, they can't hold us up, even in death. Cassie's still here. Your baby gone.
Mm-hmm.
You better not let me see him, because I want to smack the daylights out of him.
You took my words, Felicia. That's what I was just about to say. Somebody needs to smack the daylights out of him.
I'll second that, Felicia.
In memory of his daughter, whom he seemed to have forgotten.
Yes.
It's just sad.
It's very sad. And you said a mouthful right there. Even in her death, you can't stand up. Because you probably still live in an apartment, condo, or something off of that man's money. We're going to roll into this feel-good story. This is sad. It's crazy. I'm going to share screen.
Of Hollywood royalty this morning, Shonda Rhimes is widely considered the queen of television.
She is the creative force behind hit shows like Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder, and of course, Grey's Anatomy, heading into its 21st year.
21 years. Well, now Shonda Rhimes is stepping back into the world of documentaries with the release of Black Barbie.
This is an interesting one. It tells the story of how the first Black Barbie came to be while examining the importance of representation and how dolls can be crucial in the formation of identity.
It was a very intentional mission for my mom to make sure that my sisters and I saw ourselves in the toys that we played with. So she only purchased Black Barbies for us.
It was made very clear to me from very early on that there were not going to be any white dolls in our house.
I used to make my own hijabs for my dolls growing up, especially if, I was playing with the cars. Like I couldn't get in the Corvette without my hijab on. You don't want to mess up your hair.
I don't think for me they were dolls. They were representations of who I wanted to be at a certain point.
Which is the key point there, the power of representation. Shonda, good morning to you.
Good morning.
I love this. So the Barbie has been around, I think the brand for about 65 years, but it took, I think, almost 20 years, 21 years before we saw a Black Barbie. But can you talk for just a moment about why it was so important specifically to have, I mean, they had other dolls, but a Barbie, a Black Barbie.
I think it was important because the idea that you're creating this sort of iconic Barbie, this iconic woman, and she's only one color and everybody else has to be named something else, was a very interesting thing. And there was a woman working at Mattel named Beulah May Mitchell who said, why don't you make ones that look like us?
And that started it. I was just telling you earlier, my wife and I, we watched it last night. It is fantastic. And I love how you use the story of how Black Barbie came to be to tell a larger story about representation and why it matters so much. We're in the presence of a Black Barbie as well. Did you know this? Shonda Rhimes she has her own Mattel made 2 one-of-a-kind Barbies.
Yes.
I mean, did they nail it?
I think they did. We had a lot of talk about, making sure she was thick enough in the waist and that she, sort of looked like me as much as possible.
I love that.
What went through your mind when you got the call from Mattel? Hey, Shonda, we know you've done a lot, but we want to turn you into a Barbie now.
I was so excited. I was like a kid again. Like the idea was amazing to me, and I absolutely said yes right away. And they dressed her in clothes that I actually have.
Well, I was just about to say, can I borrow that one that's colorful?
That's about the size for you.
I mean, that one, leave me alone. I love that. But it was awesome. Yeah, it was an exciting experience. And to watch my daughters get to play with a doll that was made of their mother was very
That's amazing.
I mean, but check out this. I think we've got a drawing. You weren't the only one turned into a Barbie. Check out this drawing Mattel made for us a few years back. Do we have it? Where is it?
A drawing.
Okay, I guess we don't have it.
It's coming. It's
Any day.
coming. All right.
All right, we'll get it later.
Moving on.
Oh,
there we are.
There it is.
Wait,
Oh my
what?
God,
I
look at
never
you.
saw that.
Wait, do I have legs?
Yeah.
And glamour.
And look at Craig's attitude.
Not sure what's
Yeah.
with my shoulder.
Work it, girl.
It's like my shoulder's out of socket.
Yeah, and your dress is swinging.
That's awesome.
All right.
Anyway.
Sorry you had to see that,
Then they
Shonda.
added me.
So I feel like you have been the first in so many different areas. You're now the first female to create 4 television dramas that have reached the 100 episode milestone.
Yes.
Do you like being the first, or does that add some pressure?
I think it's always pressure to be the first of anything. But the one thing I always look at it as is I'm making sure that there's room for people behind me. That there's so much more space for other people to be creators.
All right.
And
So,
I love my job, so it makes it easier.
well, it's obvious because when you look at something like Bridgerton, which has just redefined a genre, when you talk about period costume pieces and dramas. I know part 2 is dropping June 13th.
Yes.
What can you tell us about what we're going to be seeing in the second part?
They're very secretive. We're very secretive about it. But I will say that it is sexy and surprising in many ways. And also just I cried at the end. I found it really moving. And I don't always cry. So I really got into it. I think it's a beautiful story.
I'm sitting here. I remember interviewing you. I think we were in California for a Dove project. But anyway, I said, so what are you working on? And you said, well, it's going to be something a little different. It's kind of a period piece. And you were like, it's going to be beautiful. We're out shooting it now. And you had these eyes of like, and I said, ooh, it's going to be good. And you go, I think so. So now I'm looking at you, I'm like, I wonder what else she's got behind those eyes. And do you have any favorites? I mean, you have so many good projects.
Oh my gosh. It's hard to name a favorite. I think everything's my favorite while I'm working on it.
Look at this.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's a lot.
Mama made it.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Yeah. See that, parents? There it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at that.
We love that.
But no, I'm so excited to do what I do. And I think there's no way to pick a favorite.
Is there more cooking in there somewhere?
Oh, of course there is.
please.
Always. Always.
Well, I understand
Right
you actually brought us something.
I did. So, I happen to know some people at Mattel, and I asked if they could bring you a very special doll, which is the 40th anniversary Black Barbie doll.
Oh, wow.
This doll is incredibly rare. I don't even have one, but I wanted you all to have one.
Oh, Shonda, that is so sweet. My daughter's going to love that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
neat. I'm like, moth to a
She's like, I gotta
flame.
get my doll.
Can I hold her?
You can.
I mean, I'm going to take her out. No, I'm not going to take her out of the box.
Shonda, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You were one of the first guests who brought us a really nice gift like that.
Yeah.
This is
Well, I
a
want you to
keeper.
enjoy it.
Oh, look at her bag.
Yeah.
Oh.
Thank you, Shonda, so much. And again, Black Barbie premieres June 19th on Netflix.
God, that was wonderful.
Thank you. We're speechless, and that
Well,
doesn't happen.
No,
Very often.
especially for this crew.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't
Oh, Brown Eyes, you said you collect Barbies. Listen, guys, thank y'all for having these conversations with me. I really do appreciate y'all. And what I really, truly appreciate is that we all allow everybody to have their own individual opinions about things. And we always tell y'all, buckle your seatbelt because you never know what's going to happen. And we want y'all to have a safe, enjoyous ride. Listen, guys, if you did not hit the like button coming in, hit the like button on your way out. I appreciate y'all. Good night and goodbye, everybody. Have an amazing weekend.
Do not cheat that divorce